It may be cold outside, but it's green inside. Coming up on the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I'm Joey Baird. This show is dedicated to the average gardener, simple home living, and using what you already have. Well, just because it's cold outside doesn't mean you have to hang up your shovel till spring. You can garden inside. Growing a garden inside, like I said, is not that difficult. It really is based on how much room you have and what you're wanting to plant. Obviously, you can't plant like watermelon or a cantaloupe, but there are some items that you can plant in the house. Now, the main concern you want to have is you want to have a south-facing window, or a window that gives you enough light to grow stuff. Here's our garden. Now at the top here we've got some hanging pots, and there are some geraniums that we've pulled out of the trash that was about gone. As you can see, we've brought them back to life, and they're just nice to look at even though they're not vegetables. Over here we have a hanging pot of some container tomatoes that we started very late in the season. They didn't produce, but we can put them back out next spring. Now obviously they're not going to produce tomatoes because they have to be pollinated, but is something that we've got a head start on next spring. Back here we've got our herbs. A nice parsley stand here that we use regularly when cooking. Thyme is something every cook and gardener should have. And the beginning stage is some nice rosemary back there. The ginger we have here, and the nice thing about ginger is come this spring we can actually remove it from the container and plant it in the ground, and it will grow into a plant and harvest it next fall. Basil here we had on the porch that we brought in. It's in a nice, it was in a hanging pot. Over here is a mixture of herbs. We had some dill, some basil, some other small items in there. Back here some oregano. It was in a container on the porch. We pulled it out, put it in a recyclable, actually it was a juice container, and now we can pick at it as we need for cooking. Here's an experimental stage, as we do a lot of things in gardening. This is actually garlic that we planted, that we had cloves that we picked off and we planted. And as you can see, it's doing really well. Now, I don't know how it's going to work out, but we'll see about that. Here are some more basil, and as you can see, it starts to flower. You don't want to, you can pick that off and put it on the top of salads, and it's very tasty. Back here is our lettuce tray in the beginning stages of it. Now, with the soil being not that deep, you have to constantly water it, but it is a very easy container to have to put lettuce in, and you have to, with us, we're watering it about every day. And finally over here is our dwarf lime tree that we purchased, and we've never done a tree like this before, but we'll put it outside in the spring, and it should bear fruit about 12 months from now. So as you can see, you don't have to have a lot of space. It's a south-facing window. We have it on top of a radiator, which makes a nice shelf. Now in that instance, you want to be careful that the heat does not burn the roots that you have plants here. So we put some lumber down to kind of insulate it. So it's very simple to grow some herbs and some vegetables inside during the winter. A compost bin is something every gardener should have. There's many different types of compost bins on the market, some from very little to very expensive. Ours is a simple 32-gallon rubber trash can. All we did, very simple to make, was we drilled holes in the side and in the bottom. If you don't have a drill available, you can use a sharp nail and a hammer to puncture holes in the bottom and the side of your trash can. In order to make compost, the breakdown process needs oxygen to decompose. And we just simply, throughout the summer, filled it up with grass clippings and weeds from the garden, and it's turned into really nice soil. Now the key to this compost is about every week you do want to get in here and stir it up. You can put more in your compost bin besides weeds and grass clippings. Everything from dryer lint to the dirt out of your vacuum bag. There's many websites available that gives hundreds of items listed of what you can put in your compost bin. Now, this is not the ideal compost bin if you have difficulties in lifting or carrying heavy items. They do make several models online that is able to rotate the compost very easily and remove it from the bin. But this is an application that works well for us. And come next summer, we'll have good compost in the garden. Having the tools you need can make an afternoon of preserving food a wonderful experience. Not having the right tools can make an afternoon of preserving food a terrible nightmare. Well, I've come up with two solutions to make your canning experience more enjoyable. Now, we all deal with canning rings, and if you're like me and you grab them, they like to shoot all over the kitchen. Well, I've come up with a simple solution for that problem. A simple dowel rod screwed to a block of wood makes an excellent ring holder for whatever size rings you're dealing with. Now, I understand that you all don't have access to a wood shop or dowel rod, but it's something you do have access to in your own kitchen is a paper towel tube. Tape that to a paper plate and it works just as effective as the dowel rod. Well, now that we've got our canning rings corralled, we've got to work on our canning lids. We all get canning lids in little boxes like this, and sometimes they get lost or misplaced. A more convenient way to store canning lids is simply in a potato chip tube. You want to remove the potato chips, no doubt, and you want to wipe the inside out with a paper towel to get rid of all the oil left from the chips. And it's an ideal container for your regular mouth canning lid. Well, I know some of you have largemouth canning lids, so you need a place to store those as well. I've got that figured out too. An oversized soup can works excellent for your wide mouth canning lid. And a lid for that can be as simple as digging through your Tupperware container drawer. Tupperware lid will fit nice on your soup can. If you don't have access to that, look through your cabinet. This is the lid off a powdered mixed drink container. It works excellent for sealing the can on your canning lids to keep the dirt out of. So two simple solutions to make your canning experience more enjoyable. There's many different types of watering cans in the market, some ranging from a few bucks to several dollars. We have a variety here that we use at the garden, and there's our pros and cons to each type that you can purchase. We have here our metal watering can, very durable. The only disadvantage that I have found is when the nozzle clogs, it does not detach from the unit, but it does give a nice shower of water. You do want to bring it in the winter so it doesn't rust. Over here we have another variety with a long neck on it. Now this variety here has a dual purpose head. You've got the straight nozzle. Also you can revert it to the shower head, which makes it convenient for watering delicate flowers. Also, your typical green watering can with the shower head. The disadvantage again is the head does get clogged with particles, but you can unscrew it from the unit and clean those particles out. So what do you do if you have a watering can, like I know most of you do, that you've lost the spout? Well, here we have one here. We all have pill bottles laying around the house, so you just want to find a pill bottle that is big enough for the diameter of the watering can. There's a little lip there, and you want to pop it on there. As you can see at the end of the watering out of the pill bottle, I've drilled holes, and you can drill holes in any pattern you want, and it works quite well. You do have a little leak there, but you don't have to go purchase a shower head for your watering can. And also some of the newer shower heads don't fit the old watering cans. We went through that. So just a regular pill bottle, make sure it fits and it works well. Now if you don't want to purchase a watering can, or you have young ones that want to participate in the garden activity and you don't want to give them an expensive one, right here, kitty litter jug. All you do is just take a drill holes in the top of it, and your kids can have a watering can all to themselves. It works quite well, and if they lose it, drop it, break it, no loss to you. So just a few options you have when you look at watering cans for in the garden. You ever have a hard day at work or a hard day in the yard and you feel your legs are going to be sore in the morning? Well, I've got a simple solution that's been passed down for generations. It's in the bathroom. Come with me, I'll show you. It's not pills. Some people will reach for these. Well, you're looking in the wrong area. Our secret's down lower. It's soap. Scientists are not really sure why it works, but there's something in the soap that reacts with your legs to help take away the pain and the soreness. It also helps alleviate restless leg syndrome. So before you go to sleep at night, throw it in the bed down by your legs, and don't call me crazy until you tried it. It really does work. A few weeks ago we started a mushroom kit inside, and now it's time for an update, and as you can see, things have got a little crazy inside the mushroom kit. Now obviously these are button mushrooms, but if you let them go, they'll get very large on you, so we're going to pick them. So all you got to do is you just want to twist them loose and pull them out, and look at the size of that one. You'd want to cut the dirty part off there. I'm going to pick all of these, and as you can see in here, you've got the little button mushrooms here that are going to form since we removed and harvested the other ones. That'll give more area for those to begin to grow. So let's get this one out of here. Now you preferably want to pick them at whatever size you're comfortable with. Now if you want just the strict small button mushrooms, then you want to pick them early. But you don't want to just say, you just don't want to leave it like that and say, okay, I'm going to go to work, because by the time you get home it can look like that very easily. So again, most stores still have them available. They will through March, April. So just an update on how the mushroom kit is going, and I'm very pleased with the results we've had so far. Well, that's all the time we have. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. And as you can see, you can garden year-round, whether it's outside or inside. It just really depends on what you're going to grow. And who knew how many different kinds of watering cans were on the market? Well, for all of us here at the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener, I'm Joy Baird, reminding you, take a child gardening and start growing some memories.
The show doesn't have to end here. You can continue the discussion on our Facebook page, keyword Wisconsin Vegetable Gardeners, and like the page. You can also email your questions, comments, or suggestions at thewiveggardener@gmail.com, and we may use your question on an upcoming show.